Imagine yourself standing in the heart of a Roman arena, where the greatest warriors of the empire face life-or-death trials. The roar of the crowd echoes through the stone walls. The scent of iron and sweat fills the air. A young gladiator steps forward, gripping his sword, eyes burning with determination. But standing before him is not just a stronger opponent, it is the fear rising within his mind. He knows that if he lets fear control him, he has already lost before the battle even begins. He cannot dictate the outcome, nor can he predict whether he will emerge victorious. But there is one thing he can control: his mind and how he chooses to respond. And that is what makes an invincible warrior. Before we begin, make sure that this valuable wisdom spreads to more people through your insight. Each time you hit the subscribe button, like, or comment, you contribute even more value to our community. Now, let's embark on this journey together. We no longer fight in Roman arenas, but modern life is its own kind of battlefield. Work, family, social pressure, criticism, all of these can become our opponents, causing us to panic, lose control, or break down. But what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we choose to face it. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, laid out a simple yet powerful philosophy. So who is truly invincible? It is the one who is not troubled by anything outside their own rational choices. Epictetus, Discourses, the 18th of January, 21. This statement challenges our common perception of strength. Invincibility does not come from muscles, weapons, or the ability to overpower others. It comes from the mind. The undefeated are not those who never fail, but those who never allow failure to control their emotions and decisions. A person may lose their job, but they do not let it break their spirit. A person may be betrayed, but they do not let anger dictate their actions. A person may face the most brutal challenges in life, yet still remain composed. That is true invincibility. Do you want to become such a person? If so, prepare to train your mind like a Roman warrior, one who never lets circumstances define them but instead defines themselves by how they respond to the world. Lessons from Roman warriors: the invincibility of willpower. Let's travel back to the Roman Empire. On the battlefield, Roman warriors were not always the strongest or the most numerous, but they were the most disciplined, the most resilient, and the least likely to lose control, even in the harshest conditions. One prime example is Marcus Furius Camillus, one of Rome's greatest generals. When Rome was invaded by the Gauls in 390 BCE, the city fell into chaos. People panicked, and fear spread like wildfire. But Camillus did not lose his resolve. He did not dwell on what was lost, he focused only on what he could control, the strategy for taking back Rome. He gathered his army, trained them with iron discipline, and turned the tide, reclaiming Rome from the invaders. If he had allowed fear and despair to consume him, if he had been overwhelmed by circumstances beyond his control, Rome as we know it might not have survived. You have surrendered your true power. And this applies not just to warfare, but to every aspect of life. Invincibility in the modern world. Have you ever watched a seasoned public speaker handle the press with mastery? They face tough questions, harsh criticism, and deliberate provocations. Yet, they do not flinch, do not get angry, do not react emotionally. They absorb every challenge with humor, composure, and patience. They can do this not just because of training or experience, but because they understand that reacting emotionally only makes things worse. The media, journalists, public opinion, they all wait for them to slip up, to lose control. But an invincible person is one who refuses to be manipulated by anything outside their own choices. This is the Stoic mindset, master yourself, and you will never be defeated. How to become invincible with Stoicism. Becoming invincible does not mean you will never fail. It does not mean you are immune to hardship, loss, or pain. It means that nothing can control your mind unless you allow it to. You can lose everything, but as long as you maintain control over your inner self, you have never truly been defeated. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of true invincibility. You control your mind instead of letting the world control you. But to reach this state, you must train yourself every day. Below are Stoic principles that will help you build an unbreakable mind. 1. Focus only on what you can control. Epictetus once said, "You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it." The ancient Romans understood this principle well. A warrior stepping onto the battlefield could not control how many enemies he would face, he could not dictate the weather, nor could he alter the emperor's orders. But what he could control was how he fought, how he held his formation, and how he maintained focus in the heat of battle. In modern life, you cannot control criticism from others, but you can control how you receive and respond to it. You cannot control the volatility of the financial markets, but you can control how you invest, how you manage risk, and how you prepare for uncertainty. You cannot control whether others treat you fairly, but you can control how you value and respect yourself. Whenever you feel anxious or upset, pause and ask yourself, "Is this within my control?" If the answer is no, then let it go. Fixating on things beyond your power will only drain your energy without achieving anything. If you stop worrying about things outside your control, they will lose their power to hurt you. 2. Train yourself to stay calm in adversity. Imagine standing in the midst of a battlefield. Metal clashes, warriors scream, dust fills the air. Who has the advantage? Not the one who strikes blindly in rage, but the one who keeps a steady mind even as chaos erupts around him. Calmness is your greatest weapon. But how do you train it? Not in moments of peace, but in the everyday struggles you face. When someone insults you, instead of reacting immediately, pause, breathe, and think before responding. When problems arise at work, instead of panicking, step back and assess the situation rationally. When you experience failure, instead of drowning in self-pity, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Calmness is not an innate trait, it is a skill. And like any skill, it must be practiced daily. Every time you master your reaction instead of letting emotions control you, you become stronger. 3. Turn hardship into a test of strength. Marcus Aurelius left us with a timeless truth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. A great warrior is not forged in easy battles. A resilient mind is not developed through a comfortable life. It is hardship, failure, and adversity that forge true strength. The next time you face difficulties, ask yourself, is this a test of my patience? Is this an opportunity to build resilience? Will I let this defeat me, or will I rise stronger? History teaches us that great figures were not those who never failed, they were those who turned every failure into a lesson and every hardship into an opportunity for growth. Seneca once said, "A man who has never been tested by hardship is like a warrior who has never been to battle." Do you want to be a true warrior? If so, you must not retreat in the face of adversity. Each time you face difficulties with calm determination, you take another step toward becoming invincible. Will you live as a weak-minded person or as a stoic warrior? Life is not always fair. It will test you, challenge you, and push you to your limits. But you have the power to decide how you respond. You can complain, get angry, and blame the world. Or you can stand firm, accept reality, and train your mind to become stronger every day. Epictetus once said, "No one can harm you unless you allow them to." You cannot avoid every hardship, but you can become a person who is not broken by hardship. You can develop an invincible mind. Starting today, every time you face a challenge, ask yourself, is this a chance to strengthen my resilience? What can I control in this situation? How can I use this adversity to grow? A Stoic does not fear failure. A Stoic is not controlled by emotions. A Stoic does not let circumstances dictate their inner peace. They master themselves, and that is why they become invincible. Are you ready to walk that path? Conclusion: you can only be defeated if you allow it. Life will strike you down. It will test your patience, your resilience, your very sense of self. You will face moments where everything seems against you, where failure feels inevitable, where pain threatens to break you. But here is the truth that the Stoics understood: no one, no event, no hardship can truly defeat you unless you surrender your mind to it. Epictetus never promised a life without suffering. He never said that you wouldn't stumble, that you wouldn't feel loss, that you wouldn't fail. But he did say this: no man is free if he is not master of himself. True strength is not found in never falling, it is found in the ability to rise again and again. No matter how many times life knocks you down. The unbreakable are not those who avoid hardship, but those who embrace it as fuel for growth. So when the storm comes, when you lose, when you hurt, when things do not go as planned, stand firm. Do not beg the world to be different. Do not curse the unfairness of life. Instead, look inward and take control. If you fall, get up. If you fail, learn. If you hurt, endure. Because the strongest people are not the ones who avoid suffering, but the ones who refuse to let suffering define them. You are only truly defeated if you allow yourself to be. But if you master your mind, no force on this earth can break you. I'd love to hear about your journey. If you don't know what to say, just type "becoming invincible" to show you made it to the end. Your engagement fuels our community, helping us grow in wisdom, understanding, and, above all, the ability to turn every challenge into an opportunity. Hope to see you in next video. Thank you very much.